Hi, and thanks for joining me in my craft room today. My name is Colleen, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I come to you from Kalama, Washington. You might have caught my video earlier, but in only my way, I accidentally deleted it. So today, I am showcasing the For the Books bundle from Stampin' Up! I absolutely love this. I'm an avid reader, so I just knew I had to have it. And we're going to make an easy project. Bookmarks. I'm going to show some cards, but bookmarks. I always need bookmarks, so I thought it'd be fun. And I also like to do craft shows. Haven't done as much as I usually like. And I read a lot, so it's great. And they're nice to tuck in little gift baskets too. Let me flip the camera around. Hopefully I'll have more success this go around. I don't know, not a lot of success last time. So let's see how it looks. I'll bring you up on my laptop. If you're here, please say hello. Let me know you're joining me. And leave a comment or a like. I always appreciate it. And I'm just kind of pretty chatty by nature, so it's always nice and fun and, just fun. So let's see here. I think we're okay. Let me see. I can move some of these cluttery things out of the way. Anyway, you'll find this bundle here on page 52 in the mini catalog. So this is a last chance product, and it's already on low inventory. So if you haven't seen it, this is it. Look, you get the I think the sunglasses are just a big selling point for me. The sunglasses, the heart, the From the Library of. I thought that would be so fun to add inside of a book. Maybe you're lending or giving. And then here are the dies. And it's a smaller die set. So you have your book, the die that makes the tassel. Let me show you what that looks like here. I think I have one made. So the die that makes the tassel. A tab, and this cuts out the hole up here, and then for the book pages. So we'll go through the entire thing together. We'll cut the paper, but let me show you some of my samples to get started with. So these are the 2 bookmarks I have made so far. And, I love actually the colors in both of them. I thought this would make really pretty to add maybe to an Easter basket. So pretty, nice soft colors with that soft seafoam. And then I like things sometimes every now and then a little bright and flashy. So Daffodil Delight and Real Red. And then I brought those same colors over here to this card. This one's for the books. Fun layout, fun design. Look at the sunglasses up there. I haven't finished it off yet because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. And here's this other card that I love. Look at that gold foil. This paper I forgot I had, and it is beautiful. It is the Nature Sweetness 12-inch by 12-inch designer series paper, which has nothing to do with my project today, but I just have to show you how absolutely gorgeous this paper is, and I cannot believe I forgot I had it. So just to show you, so pretty. I've made some wedding cards with it, and like I said, then I tucked it aside and I forgot all about it. And if you're me, and when you get a new stamp set, you're not exactly sure what to do with it, I like to start by casing the catalog. So casing stands for copy and share everything. So just kind of fun, right? And there you go. Fun card. That's the one I copied. Changed out the colors a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with these bookmarks. I'm going to leave the one I'm working on up here as a sample, and I'll show you how to cut the paper, and we will just do this together. So again, with the soft seafoam, and I will have all of this vlog later. Really, guys, there's nothing to this. Like, there's almost nothing to remember. Not a lot of cuts. We're going to cut this at 2 1/4, and again, this is soft seafoam. It's not a color I use a lot, but I thought, well, why not? With Easter coming, some of these nice springy soft colors, it'd be kind of fun. I don't know what's on the other side of that. Let's swap it this way and go to 5 1/2 inches. And that is the base. Then I pulled out this piece from one of my favorite designer series paper ever, which is the Wildflower Birthday 12-inch by 12-inch paper. I just have used almost all of mine. It's been one of my favorites. And I thought this beautiful leaf pattern matches perfectly. The whole vibe of, it matches the whole vibe of this bookmark that I'm making. And then 5 1/4. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. And then let's put these two pieces together. So while we're making bookmarks, I do love to read, and right now I'm kind of reading a mystery novel, and I never remember the names of the books that I read. I had to start a Pinterest board just to remember. But it's really good. It's a good one. So I'm enjoying that. So what are you reading? I'm always looking for new book recommendations. All right. So it doesn't get much easier than that. Let's grab in the mini die cutting machine and do some die cutting together. Let's go ahead and start with this piece here for the tab, and let me show you the trick I used for it, because I was so afraid I was going to lose that little piece, that I had one of these, like a little piece of sticky tape, and I just picked it up with that, and I want to make sure I have this centered. So I grabbed a ruler, saying I grabbed a ruler, and you know, I did grab a ruler, and now I have to remember what I did with it, because I know I want it. So I took a ruler, and you know, because this designer series paper measures 2 inches across, I want this centered in the inch mark. And all I did was line this piece here up at the top, and then I pressed my tape down so I could center that. Let's see how I did. I think it's okay. Oh, I moved a little bit. Let me move it back. There we go. And that was just easiest for me. And then I wasn't afraid of this dropping down on the carpet and then me not being able to find it. And you know who would find it first? We all know, right? Harvey, the little dog that I have. We all know Harvey would be the who would find that little tab first and then swallow it in a half a second's amount of time. And I did not want that to happen. So there we go. Let's do the remainder of our die cuts. Let's see how, yep, pretty good. A little off center, but that's okay. Nobody's gonna notice. It'll be good. Oh, we need to leave this out. Let's grab some Pretty in Pink. This is the book one, so I'm gonna grab some Pretty in Pink. I keep a lot of my scraps. So tell me, hi Joan, are you team scrap or are you team no thank you? You just want to get rid of them. I know people who are both, and some people absolutely never want to keep a scrap. And then you have people like me that keep every scrap. And I should probably go through them at some point in time. So let's cut these. What I'm doing now is I'm cutting the book and the tassel. And I don't know that I'm going to use the tassel, but I do for sure want to show you how to make it. It's always a work in progress with me, right? And let's pop that book out. So the dies have little holes in them that make it easy for you to release your paper. If you take your pick tool, and if you don't have to take your pick tool, if you take a toothpick, whatever you have, and just pop it in those little holes, it helps the paper to release from the die. And it makes it very easy. Let's go ahead and put that down there. And then I need a little scrap of white. I don't need that much, so let's just tear that. And I am going to go ahead and take this piece here for the pages. Let's go ahead and pop that there. And we'll put this back through the die cutting machine. If it doesn't slip out, my goodness. There we go. I am all thumbs today. I'm getting on here late. Well, I came on time earlier, and then, you know, my video editing skills or lack thereof. which I think I might say every video. So how pretty, nice soft colors, getting ready for Easter. I think bookmarks are such a nice, fun gift to give people, especially if you're giving a book. And I really always like to include something handmade. So let me go ahead and grab that silicone mat and let's start adhering things. So for the book, I wanted a little bit extra. So I took that same designer series paper, came with these little die cuts. And I thought, instead of doing a flower that I die cut from another stamp set dies, I thought that flower looked really pretty there. So I'm going to just put some seal here, and it's okay. You know, your silicone mat, remember, you can wipe adhesive off of this. So let me curl that under a little bit so it doesn't show. Let me see here. Let's go ahead and just pick that up a little bit. There we go. A little too much on there. And then let's just add a little bit extra here. So now we have a little floral aspect to our book. And then let's not forget the pages. I almost did that. Don't want to forget the pages. And let me grab a bottle of glue out of here. There we go. And put that there. My glue is a little on the newer side, so you know, and the one I was using was almost completely empty, so I'm always afraid I'm going to press too hard on that new glue bottle and it's just going to whoosh right out, you know. Anyway, isn't that pretty? Look at how I love the details. I'm going to try and maybe shine a light on this so you can see the stitching. If you can really kind of see how pretty that stitching is in that book. It really just adds a little bit extra. You know, you could pop this up on dimensionals. You 100% could. I'm not going to because it's a bookmark and I want it to lay flat. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this glue, and you don't need a ton, but you know me, I'll probably put too much on there. And just put a little glue around there and place it on your bookmark where you like it. You can see this is already turning out so pretty, isn't it? So, so pretty. And then let's go ahead and grab a piece of paper. I think this is 2 inches. I want the paper, my basic white, 2 inches across. Yep, it is. And I'm going to grab the stamp that says "You're a Solid," and then it has 5 stars. Now I was laughing because our family can be kind of sarcastic sometimes, and I was wondering, like, what if you only colored in 3.5 of the stars? Oh, Joan, you have a container full of scrap paper. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So, and you can see the stamps here are great. This one's for the book, Story of Us. Just really, this has been one of my favorites. I haven't shown a lot of it online, but I have used it quite a bit. So let's go ahead and take this down here, and then I want to match in my pretty in pink. You all know I'm kind of matchy-matchy. Everything's that way in the house too. And let's go ahead. And what I'm doing is I'm just stamping towards, centering and stamping towards the bottom. Perfect. Let me move these things out of my way. And then I have the Pretty in Pink Stampin' Blend. And let's color this in a little bit. Let's see. And when you're using your Stampin' Blends, make sure you have a piece of paper underneath because they will bleed through a little bit. So if you're a kitchen table stamper, make sure you have paper underneath or something you don't want ruined. They don't bleed through a lot, but I wouldn't want you to ever do any damage to anything underneath of what you're coloring. So I thought it'd be kind of funny, like what if you were rating like the person you gave me and you just did like 3.5? 4 stars, which I would never. And my friends who are watching this are probably saying, oh, Colleen, yes, you would. Anyway, easy, easy, easy. Hi, Kim. Thanks for popping in today. So there we go. I'm running a little behind today. And then I'm just taking my paper trimmer because I sometimes find it easier to trim than I do to get the stamp centered. And ta-da, just that easy. And again, you can pop this up on dimensionals if you want, but since I'm actually going to use them as bookmarks, I'm not going to. And let's go ahead and put this one down. See, these full glue bottles, I tell you, the glue just whooshes out. And let's pop this here. If you're real fussy, you can measure it and make sure that you're even all the way around. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I eyeball it. We're going to eyeball it for now. Now, what I did to do when I made my tassels is I took my bone folder and I just did very light curve up here. I tell you, I think these tassels are so much fun. And especially as we come into like graduation season, given that this is on low inventory and a last chance product, if you're making a lot of graduation cards, I think just for the tassel alone, I would probably buy the bundle if I was making graduation cards. All right, and then twine. Do we want twine? Do we want ribbon? I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with this white twine. And I think I want about, let's just cut it where it looks good. That's what I'm going to say. Cut it where it looks good. We'll thread it through, and then we'll go from there. Let's thread this through, and then if I don't want it this long, we'll just go ahead and cut it. Yep, that is a little long. All right. And I know that seems like kind of a waste, but honestly, if you saw how much twine and ribbon I had in my craft room, you'd know it was okay. We just all collect things, and things, with the new catalog coming out, we'll all be getting some new exciting things. My order should be coming today, so I'm excited about that. I don't know that you need to tie a knot in the end of this. I sew a lot, so I'm very used to just tying off ends. So I think it's just habit for me. It makes me feel like things are more secure. I don't know that you actually need to do that. If you are somebody who sews, then you completely understand what I mean when I say that. Let's go ahead and bring out the silicone mat again. And I am going to use the liquid glue for this. And I'm going to try and just get a little bit out here. There we go. And then I started by popping that little knot I made just below the glue line. And then I just folded it in on itself. It looks a little fussy, but honestly, it's not bad. And you'd think you'd get glue all over your fingers, and that has, well, it'll probably happen now since I was just going to say that has not happened yet. But it really comes together pretty quickly and easily. And then I just, oh, my knot came out, darn it. Let's unwind this then and try again. All right, let's do this again. Got my knot down there. And let's go ahead and wind this up again. Hang on, I do have a little glue on my fingers. See, the minute you say something, right? Let me just wipe that off. There we go. Thank goodness for baby wipes in craft rooms, I tell you. And let's do that. And there is the first one. And then just take your finger and kind of open up those tassels. I'm going to give the knot just a little tug. And see how pretty is that. And let's do the other side. So it's beautiful here in Southwest Washington. I'm always complaining about the rain, and I have to tell you, the last few days have just been stunningly beautiful. And so this time of the year, for about 6 months out of the year, I'm like, why do I live here? And then this time of the year, I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember. Because it is absolutely beautiful today. My husband came home from the grocery store and he brought me home some tulips that I can plant in the ground. So that was a nice surprise. And there we go. Let's give that a little tug on that knot and open this up. And this, my friends, is how easy it is to make a bookmark using the For the Books bundle. Let me clear this up a little bit because I have a big mess over here. It's probably a little distracting, and I'll show you my samples again. So these are the 2 bookmarks here. I think I have a third one somewhere around here, and the rest of my samples are close. You know, I always say everything's close. It all kind of ends up under a pile here as I work. But anyway, oh, here they are. So you have to let me know, do you like the more springy tones with the tassels better? Do you like it with the ribbon and the brighter colors? And then this is the card I cased from the catalog. I absolutely think this is such a fun card and layout. And I may actually have to just do a video on this soon. And then I thought this card was so elegant. So let me know your favorite project. Let me know what you think about the bookmarks. I'm always so happy when you can join me. And you have a great Monday, and I'll see you next week.